Welcome to Meet the Boss Junior. Today I'm speaking with you, Louise Schaper, CEO of Australian Institute of Digital Health. First question, you might know I love cars. What's your favorite car?
Oh, I'm going to throw something at you, Liam. I'm not really a car person. I like motorcycles. So my favorite motorcycle is Ducati Monster. But I don't own one of those. I have a Kawasaki ZZR. So I hope that's okay, but I love bikes. I always have.
It is. So think back to when you were a kid. What did you want to do when you grew up?
Well, don't laugh, but I was very clear. I used to tell everybody I was going to be the first female president of Australia. I know, I was very ambitious. And I somehow worked out that we needed to be a republic as well, which we're not yet.
I want to hear all about your work, but first tell me your story. How did you get to become a CEO?
It's a great question, Liam, because a lot of people, and not just as young as you, but older people as well, they think that you need to have a specific goal in mind of where you want to go, and you do this step and this step and this step, and that will get you there. And look, that is true for some people, but for most people, and certainly for me, I didn't have a plan to become a CEO. I arrived here by accident, but when I did, and I'll tell you how I did, I couldn't think of anything I would rather be doing than being the CEO of this organization. But how it was sort of accidental, because I believe strongly you should do what you love. And I've always loved digital health. I was doing a PhD. I thought, well, maybe I'll be an academic, because I really wasn't sure what career paths, but I knew I really loved this space. So I just said yes, basically. I said yes to everything anyone asked me to do. I'd be like, yeah, sure. How hard can it be? I'll work it out. And I just finished my PhD in digital health. And then the CEO of this organization had announced that he was resigning and they were going to market for a CEO. And I knew everybody, and I just rang them and was like, oh my God, what are you going to do? Like, he's amazing. What are you going to do? Like, I was just, because I was part of the community and people were my friends. And so I just rang for the gossip, really. And I was surprised because somebody said to me, well, you're going to apply, aren't you? And it honestly had never crossed my mind. And then a second person called me at home and said, I hope you're applying for that job. I applied. It was very competitive, and obviously I got it. But the lesson I learned from that is that you shouldn't underestimate yourself. And it's also really important to always check with others and have strong supporters around you, so that, because they will see things in you that you may not see yourself at the time. So that's the sort of lesson I took away from that. But that was almost 13 years ago, Liam.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell me about your company. What is your product and who are your customers?
Well, the company is a non-profit, and that doesn't mean we're not allowed to make money. Sometimes people think that that means we're not supposed to make money. We definitely need to make money. But what we do with that money is we reinvest it into the work that we do as a non-profit. So all the good, high impactful things. And we have people who are members. So I happen to know someone in your family is a member. And we have people who join us do so because they really believe in the mission, which effectively is that we can actually improve health outcomes and make the world a better place and have much higher quality care if we actually properly enable people with digital health, so that they can use computers efficiently and that they can manage data efficiently. So it's a really good thing to do. And there's thousands and thousands of people who are really motivated by this mission. And my job is to support those people, give them a home and a community, but also to grow that community as well. So that's sort of what we do. It might be a little bit different than a corporate angle, but I love it because you get to do things that people really value and that are really important. And together, I'm helping to support people who are all trying to make the world a better place, which I think is wonderful.
So what do you love most about your job?
Oh, great question. That's an easy one for me. I love building things. So I might not build Lego, but what I love building are teams of people. I love building missions and strategies of how we can do things better and building communities so that we can do that. So I'm really entrepreneurial in the way that I approach my work, and I just love building. So much so that even though I love my job, if my bosses, and I report to a board, if there was a change in focus and they said, oh, look, we're really happy, things are doing really well, but we don't need a growth agenda anymore. We just want you to keep things running, stabilize the business, and just keep it running well. I would go, well, that's great, but you should find a new CEO, because that's not me. I'm not really a person who just likes managing things. I don't even know how my brain could cope with not constantly coming up with new ideas and supporting people who have new ideas and trying to make them happen. So that's what I love most, is building new things.
So what's the hardest thing about your job?
Oh, that's a hard one, but it's an easy one to answer. Great question, Liam. And that's actually dealing with people who aren't performing the best. So managing people is a real privilege, and it's an honor to have people look up to you, to help support them in their career growth, and so that they can do really good. But the thing that I find the hardest is sometimes it's not the right fit. Sometimes people come to work for me, and I like to think we have the best intentions always of having a really good relationship and them really enjoying the work, but sometimes that just doesn't work out. And you need to have, difficult conversations with people sometimes, to sort of point out sometimes they're the ones who pointed out that, look, this just isn't working. And, is it fixable, or could we do something else? And I find that I've had to have quite a few of those types of conversations in my time as the CEO. And that's one of the toughest things, is CEOs really have to make a lot of tough decisions, where people might not like those decisions. But you have to be really clear that, are you making the right decision? Make sure that you are, get other people's input if need be, but then you need to execute on those. And sometimes when that's a tough conversation with somebody that you respect, it's tough. So that's probably the hardest thing. I really don't enjoy that. And I've been here for a long time, and I don't know if I'll ever feel comfortable doing that, but it has to be done.
So what's one piece of advice for me as I think about starting my own company?
Oh, well, Liam, I think you should do what you love. So there's so many options, and the fact that you're already thinking about starting your own company, and do you mind me asking how old you are? Is that okay?
Yep, 10.
How old? You're 10. Okay. Now, see, when I was 10, I don't even know whether I had I think my presidential ambitions were probably when I was a teenager, not when I was 10. I was probably just focusing on getting good grades at school when I was 10. So the fact that you are already thinking about a future career for yourself, and you know that you would like to start your own business, you're already winning, and you're so far ahead of where I was at your age. So my one piece of advice is just, you'll have so many opportunities thrown at you. You will open doors for yourself, and make sure that you really know yourself and know what you enjoy and love, because you'll be able to do lots of different things. You'll go, like me, you'll go, oh, okay, how hard can it be? And you'll give it a go. But sometimes people can get stuck when they're good at things, doing things for a really long time without really taking a step back and thinking, does this make me happy? Am I motivated? Do I wake up in the morning and I just want to jump out of bed and start working? So if you do what you love and do things that you're passionate about, you will never work a day in your life. And I know that sounds like a bit of a cliche, but I think it's really true, because I don't think about going to work or working. This is just my life, and I live it the way that I do things that make me happy.
Looks like that's all you have time for today. Thank you so much for coming on this show and sharing your story. Best of luck with your future.
Oh, likewise, thanks to you, Liam, and thanks so much for the invitation. I've loved having a chat with you. Thanks so much.